Here with Isaiah Chappell. So for those who don't know you all that much, talk about your background, your family, siblings, where you're from, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, so my mom, dad, my sister, they're all born in Michigan, Southfield, Michigan. They're from that area. All my family, my grandparents are over there, but I was born in New Zealand. When my dad played overseas in New Zealand for the Breakers, I was born there, so I have dual citizenship there. So that's where I'm from. I've been all around since I moved here when I was 6 to LA. I was in Tokyo, I was in Australia, New Zealand, Beirut, all places, because my dad was playing overseas at the time. So kind of growing around that basketball overseas thing, I think that was a good experience for me.
And when did you really get your start in basketball?
So like I said, I've been around it, but I started taking seriously when I got to high school, when I saw all these other players. I was watching Cassius Stanley and Shaq's kids. Shaq's kids went to our school, so really watching them and getting to love the game and getting into the game. So I was around like 9th grade.
Gotcha. What are some things with your dad being a former pro player? What are some things that he's kind of taught you or instilled in you over the years?
I get my shooting from him. He's still playing one-on-one to this day, and he still has it. So really just getting, he's my trainer too. So he's the one that really trains me, and getting to know things from his perspective, because I know he's played at the highest level. And if I want to play at that level, then getting to really learn things from him, shooting, playing the game right, making the right play, and doing all these things. And we watch film, and he tells me all this stuff, and I have to retain this information if I really want to take my game to the next level. So really he's taught me a lot of things, and really recently it's been more stuff off the dribble for my size. That would be something to unlock my game, and being able to operate out the post more comfortably.
Gotcha. How has growing up around the game since you were a little kid really kind of helped your confidence and that type of stuff?
I always told myself, when I was watching the game when I was really young, I kind of learned at a young age how to play the right way. I don't think that's something that most people have. So I think me having pretty high basketball IQ and really knowing the game has helped my confidence at whatever stage I play at, because I know how to make the right play regardless of who I'm playing against and who I'm playing with. So yeah.
For those who haven't seen you play, talk about your game. What are some of your strengths?
So I'm a stretch 4, 6'9", 220. I could shoot the ball. I could pass up the post. I could play out the post. I could also put the ball on the floor. I would say a strength of mine that most people haven't seen yet is in transition. I can bring up the ball, make the right pass, lead the break, and just working on stuff that, doing the stuff that a big has to do, like myself, is rebound, playing defense. But when you add all this other stuff onto my game, I feel like that makes me a more valuable player. So it's just stuff I'm working on for the next level.
Gotcha. What do you feel like is maybe an underrated aspect to your game?
I would say I could post defense. Some people haven't seen me play post defense. I think I can play solid post defense, as well as passing at my size is something that's underrated in the sense that you don't really see it until I play with you or you see me play. So I think those are 2 underrated aspects.
Talk about your summer. You played with Strive for Greatness. Just what was that experience like, and what do you feel like you showed coaches and scouts and all that?
Playing at that level is playing against the best of the best in around the country actually, and at my age group. So I think it was something I really had to go through to really know, okay, here's who I am, here's what I need to do to get better. I thought I played solid. I had a couple of solid games. Playing with the players that I had and finding my role on the team. And once I was able to do that, I felt like I had a pretty solid summer. Shooting when I was open, cutting, making the right passes, all the stuff that I did and will continue to do.
Okay. You mentioned you're a dual citizen in New Zealand, and you have some experience playing for the national team, correct?
Oh yeah, I was selected to go play for the national team later this August, and I feel like that was a really good accomplishment for me, as well as an honor. I haven't been back in my home country yet, so that should be exciting, going to play for them.
Nice, nice. Have you practiced with them at all or done anything like that?
Nah, so I think when I get there, I'm gonna be able to practice with them. It's kind of a new situation where I'm thrown in and get to know the guys. I've already talked to them on Messenger, the long distance stuff, gone over some film, how they play, so it should be fun.
Yeah, and I guess what is that? It's a unique opportunity to go play for New Zealand.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
It means a lot, going back, playing at the world stage, something I haven't done yet. I'm really excited for. I know there's some different rules that I have to catch on to, but it's something I'm definitely excited for. And, honestly honored to play for New Zealand and getting to represent the country.
Going into high school next year, just what are some of your goals for next season?
Really lead my team. It's the last year for me, and I want to try to go for the CIF championship, and a goal of mine that me and my teammates have had since we were freshmen. Haven't been able to do that because of COVID, because of team injuries, all of that have plagued us, but I feel like this year there's no excuses. So just going all out, try to get this goal.
Touching on your recruitment, just what's the latest that way in terms of interest and offers?
So recently I felt that Cornell has a lot of interest in me. I want to go and take a visit there too, and UC San Diego, I've been in contact with them too. Dartmouth's another one, so a couple of Ivies. Cal State Fullerton has been in touch with me too. UC Santa Barbara too, so it's really regional schools and some Ivies. I'm still keeping my options open, but going along that process, I told myself I wasn't going to rush the process, because it's a situation where I'm making a decision for potentially 4 years. So it's something I really have to sit down and think about and talk to my family about.
Any schools that you haven't heard from that you'd love to hear from?
I've loved the schools that I've talked to. I would love to hear from a couple of Pac-12 schools, maybe the likes of Oregon, maybe some Midwest schools. I'm open to travel. Location's not really a big deal for me, so maybe a couple Big Ten schools. But yeah, keep my options open.
Ideally, when it's time to make that choice, what are you looking for in a school of choice?
Yeah, so I would say I'm a pretty academic kid. I have 3.8 GPA weighted, so going somewhere that I could fulfill my interests academically and athletically, and where people are interested in developing me and getting better each year and every year. And I'm looking to compete, and while off the floor and on the floor. So yeah.
I know there's a life after basketball, and you're just starting your career right now. But have you thought about that a little bit in terms of what you could be interested in academically, or perhaps outside of basketball?
Yeah. So obviously, I would look to play professionally, but my dad's in finance, and he in the real estate industry, and I've always found that interesting. So maybe going into finance and going to studying the stock market is something I would want to do. Also, I found biology interesting, so maybe going into marine biology or just biology in general is something I'm interested in. So those are just two that I've been thinking about, but yeah.
Nice. So segueing to get to know you a little bit off the court, what are any unique hobbies or interests that people don't know about?
Yeah, so I like to listen to music. I play video games here and there. Something that is kind of uninteresting, or not uninteresting, but kind of unorthodox maybe, is I garden too. I have some plants outside. I grow some vegetables and stuff, so I would say that's something that's pretty cool about me. I paint on some of my shoes too. Some of my hoop shoes have different colorways, because during quarantine I decided why not just paint on them. So those are some things I like to do in the off time.
Okay. Yeah. How was the garden harvest this year? What type of veggies were you growing?
Yeah, so I was growing cucumbers, Japanese cucumbers. I was also growing some bell peppers, some jalapeno. I put that to use. And now again, I'm growing Japanese cucumber again. I'm growing some okra, some spinach, and I think I'm growing a tomato plant and an artichoke plant. So really excited to see how that turns out.
Nice.
Yeah.
And if you had one hashtag to describe yourself, what would that hashtag be and why?
Hashtag unorthodox. The word unorthodox is kind of weird in itself, but like it's something that's kind of different, different from the usual, different from the normal. So I would say that me as a player, me as a person, I'm kind of not like part of the general. Not saying I'm like different like that, not cocky, but like kind of unique. Not too many bigs, do what I do, on and off the court. You know, you heard of anyone that's like 6'10", that likes 6'9", that likes biology, or like likes gardening. So yeah, that's probably
nice. And we'll wrap it up with this. But ideally, 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
You know, my goal is to play professionally. So maybe getting a shot at the NBA, getting a shot overseas. I don't know, wherever this journey takes me, I'll go along with it. Playing overseas in New Zealand, Australia, something that's also an option, looking into that. So it's all up to me and also God and God's plan. So yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for the time.
No problem. Thank you.